Thomas, in his early 30s, seemed to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. Tall, with brown hair starting to show the first signs of gray, his blue eyes were always shadowed with sadness. The walls of the modest apartment where he lived with his daughter Emily were silent witnesses to his constant pain. Old photos of his late wife, Julia, adorned the rooms, each telling a story of happier times. Thomas's day started early. He would get up before dawn, his nights frequently interrupted by nightmares of loss. The faint light of dawn barely entered through the windows, casting long shadows over the simple living room furniture. He made coffee in an old, creaky coffee maker, the sound filling the oppressive silence of the apartment. Emily, 7 years old, was still asleep in her room, her fragile little body curled up under the blankets. Her pale, serene face hid the constant battle she fought against her illness. Thomas always watched her for a moment before waking her up, his heart tightening with the overwhelming responsibility of being her sole caregiver. "Emily, sweetheart, time to wake up," he said softly, his voice a mix of tenderness and exhaustion. Emily opened her eyes slowly, a weak smile appearing as she saw her father. Despite being so young, there was wisdom and resilience in her brown eyes, reflecting the strength that Julia, her mother, had left her as a legacy. "Good morning, Daddy," she murmured, stretching her arms for a hug. Thomas picked her up, feeling how light she was. He carried her to the kitchen, where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mixed with the smell of eggs he was cooking on the stove. Each movement was meticulous, a conscious effort to create a sense of normalcy amidst the internal chaos he felt. "How are you feeling today?" he asked, helping her to sit at the table. "Better, Daddy. I think I can go to the window today," Emily replied with a determination that made Thomas's eyes shine with pride and sadness at the same time. He nodded, forcing a smile, and turned to prepare the breakfast tray. The apartment was always immaculately clean, not out of vanity, but because Thomas believed that maintaining external order helped control the internal chaos. The furniture was simple and functional, mostly inherited or bought secondhand. But each piece had been carefully chosen by Julia, giving them special meaning. After breakfast, Thomas prepared for work. He was a manager at a small hardware store downtown, a job that didn't pay much but allowed him to be home early to care for Emily. Before leaving, he always kneeled by her bed and kissed her forehead. "I'll be back before you know I'm gone, okay?" he said, trying to inject a dose of optimism into his voice. Emily nodded, holding his hand for a moment longer, as if seeking strength to face another day without her mother. Thomas left the apartment, but his heart remained there with his daughter. With each step he took towards the store, he felt the weight of responsibilities and memories. The streets were beginning to fill with life as he walked, but Thomas felt like a spectator in a world he no longer belonged to. The sound of cars, people talking, and shops opening their doors all seemed distant, as if separated by an invisible barrier of his own pain. At work, Thomas was efficient and polite, but his colleagues could see the shadow that always accompanied him. They knew of his tragedy, and although they tried to offer support, there was a limit to what they could do. Thomas closed himself off, diving into tasks as a way to escape the tormenting thoughts. While attending to customers, his mind often wandered back to Emily and Julia. The memories of Julia were a bittersweet mix of happiness and longing. He remembered her laughter, the way she lit up any room, and the unconditional love they shared. And in each memory, there was the painful reality that she was no longer there to share his life. At the end of the day, Thomas returned home, physically and emotionally exhausted. The image of Emily running to him, even in her weakened state, was what gave him the strength to continue. He knew he had to be strong for her, even when everything inside him wanted to give up. Thus, Thomas's life continued, a constant cycle of work, care, and memories. Each day was a struggle to keep hope alive, to believe that somehow they would find a way to move forward, to overcome the pain and find happiness again. And, though he didn't know it, fate was about to bring an unexpected change to their lives. It was a cold, rainy afternoon when Thomas, returning from work, saw a figure huddled under the canopy of the convenience store near his house. The woman, covered by a thin and dirty coat, was shivering with cold. Her hair, which could be blonde if clean, was disheveled and wet, stuck to her pale and marked face. Her green eyes reflected a sadness and despair that Thomas instantly recognized. Thomas hesitated. He knew he couldn't solve everyone's problems, but something about this woman touched him in a different way. He approached slowly, trying not to scare her. "Excuse me," he said softly. "Are you okay?" The woman looked up, surprised, as if not used to anyone speaking to her. Her eyes filled with tears, but she said nothing. "My name is Thomas," he continued. "Do you need help?" She hesitated for a moment before nodding. The voice that came out was weak and hoarse. "My name is Anna," she said, almost in a whisper. I'm looking for a place to stay. Anything?" Thomas felt a tightening in his heart. He knew that taking a stranger into his home was risky, but something in his intuition told him that Anna needed a second chance, just as he needed help with Emily. "Anna, I have a little girl who is sick, and I need someone to help take care of her. Would you accept this job? I can offer you a place to stay and food." Anna's eyes widened in surprise. She did not expect such an offer. She studied Thomas's face, trying to gauge his sincerity. Desperation and the need for shelter overcame her fear. "Yes, I accept," she replied, moved. Thank you. Thank you so much." Thomas nodded and helped her to her feet. They walked together to the apartment, the sound of rain hitting the pavement accompanying each step. Upon arrival, he opened the door and led her inside. Emily was sitting on the living room sofa, wrapped in a blanket. Her eyes shone with curiosity at the new person entering with her father. "Emily, this is Anna," Thomas introduced. "She will be helping us for a while." Emily, always polite, smiled shyly. "Hi, Anna," said the girl in her soft voice. "Nice to meet you." "Hi, Emily." "Nice to meet you too," replied Anna, trying to hide her nervousness. Thomas showed Anna where she would stay, a small guest room with a simple but clean bed. He provided her with clean clothes, memories of Julia that were still stored in the closet. Anna thanked him, moved, and went to take a hot bath, something that seemed a luxury to her after so much time on the streets. While Anna got ready, Thomas prepared dinner. Emily, always curious, asked several questions about the new caregiver. "Daddy, where did she come from? Why was she on the street?" "I don't know much about her yet, dear, but it seems she has gone through difficult times. Let's try to help her, just as she will help us, okay?" Emily nodded, her childish mind trying to understand the complexity of the situation. Anna, renewed by the bath and wearing clean clothes, joined them in the kitchen. She looked like a new person, although there was still a latent sadness in her eyes. During dinner, Thomas and Emily shared stories about Julia, and Anna began to relax, feeling part of a family again, something she had not experienced for a long time. After dinner, Thomas showed Anna how to care for Emily, explaining the routine and the medications the girl needed to take. Anna listened attentively, her expression softening as she saw Thomas's dedication to his daughter. "I promise to take good care of her," said Anna, her voice firm but with a shadow of emotion. "I promise." Thomas looked at her and, for the first time in a long time, felt a spark of hope. Perhaps, just perhaps, things would start to get better. In the first days, Anna's adaptation to the new routine was not easy. She was determined to show Thomas that his trust was not in vain, but each task was a test of her resilience. The mornings started early, with Anna waking up to the sound of Thomas's alarm. She dressed in the clean but simple clothes he had given her and went down to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. Thomas was always one step ahead, watching discreetly. He wanted to believe he had made the right choice, but the distrust was still there. On one of those first days, he found Anna sitting at the table, her hands trembling as she tried to hold a cup of coffee. "Are you okay, Anna?" he asked, trying to hide his concern. "Yes, I'm fine," she replied, forcing a smile. "Just a little nervous, I think." Thomas nodded, understanding. He knew that changing one's life was not easy and that Anna was fighting her own demons. Emily, always sensitive to the emotions around her, noticed the tension and decided to break the ice. "Anna, do you know how to make pancakes?" she asked, her eyes shining with expectation. Anna smiled genuinely for the first time. "Yes, I do, Emily. Shall we make them together?" The two went to the kitchen, and soon the aroma of fresh pancakes filled the air. Thomas watched from afar, feeling a glimmer of hope as he saw Emily so excited. But there were still moments of uncertainty. That afternoon, while Emily rested, Thomas decided to install a baby monitor in her room. He wanted to ensure she was well taken care of, especially at night when the illness seemed crueler. That night, Thomas was on the sofa, unable to sleep, when he decided to check the monitor. The image was grainy, but he could clearly see Anna sitting by Emily's bed, holding her small hand. At first, he felt relieved, but as he watched, something unexpected happened. Anna began to speak, her voice low and trembling. "You know, Emily, I also lost someone very dear," she said, her eyes fixed on the girl's sleeping face. "I had a daughter. She was beautiful, like you. And I couldn't save her." Thomas was paralyzed, his heart tightening. Anna was crying silently, tears falling on the hands intertwined with Emily's. "I miss her so much," Anna continued, "and sometimes I blame myself. But taking care of you, even for a short time, gives me a little peace. It makes me feel like I can still do something good in this world." Emily stirred in bed, still sleeping, but seemed to feel the comforting presence of Anna. Thomas couldn't take his eyes off the screen. He was seeing not just a caregiver, but a broken woman trying to find redemption. The next morning, Thomas didn't mention what he had seen, but his attitude towards Anna began to change. He treated her with more kindness, more understanding, starting to see beyond her worn appearance and painful story. One of the most challenging moments came when Emily had a health crisis. It was dawn, and the girl woke up with a violent cough, gasping for breath. Thomas ran to her room, panic visible in his eyes. Anna was already there, holding Emily in her arms, trying to calm her. "Calm down, Emily. Breathe deeply. We're going to be fine," Anna said, her voice firm but full of tenderness. Thomas joined them, holding his daughter's hand. He felt the desperation growing inside him, but Anna's calm presence brought a sense of control to the situation. "I'll call the doctor," Thomas said, his voice trembling. Anna nodded, continuing to speak softly to Emily until the crisis passed. When it finally did, the girl was exhausted but calmer. Thomas looked at Anna with gratitude. "Thank you," he said sincerely. "I don't know what I would have done without you here." Anna just smiled, her eyes still shining with unshed tears. Those first days were full of ups and downs, but slowly, a new dynamic began to form. Anna was becoming more than a caregiver. She was becoming part of the family. And Thomas, always vigilant, began to realize that Anna's presence was not just helping Emily, but also bringing unexpected relief to his own broken heart. The days turned into weeks, and Anna's presence became a pillar of comfort in Thomas and Emily's home. Anna spent hours by Emily's side, telling stories of times past, many of them based on her own experiences. Anna's soft voice became a balm for Emily, who often fell asleep to the sound of stories involving adventures, magic, and above all, hope. One night, while Thomas was reviewing some documents in the office, he heard laughter coming from Emily's room. It was a rare sound, almost forgotten in the house since Julia's death. Intrigued and with a light heart, he approached Emily's room, stopping at the slightly open door to observe. Anna was sitting on the bed next to Emily, holding a fairy tale book. The soft light of the lamp cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating an almost magical atmosphere. Anna read enthusiastically, making different voices for each character, which made Emily laugh and clap. And then, the brave knight said, "I am not afraid of the dragon. With my sword and my courage, I will save the princess." Anna dramatized, brandishing an imaginary sword. Emily laughed, her eyes shining with joy. "And did the dragon flee?" asked Emily, eagerly. "Oh yes. He fled to the farthest mountains, where he never bothered anyone again," Anna replied, smiling. Thomas entered the room, not wanting to interrupt but feeling a deep need to join them. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice full of tenderness. "Daddy, Anna is reading to me," said Emily, smiling widely. "And she makes the characters' voices." Thomas sat on the edge of the bed, feeling part of that little bubble of happiness. "Sounds fun," he commented. "Can I listen too?" Anna smiled at Thomas, with gratitude and something else in her eyes. A connection was forming between them, something beyond words, a mutual understanding of pain and healing. That same night, after Emily fell asleep, Thomas invited Anna for tea in the kitchen. It was becoming a common routine. Moments of quiet conversation that went beyond words. "Anna, you have a gift for storytelling," Thomas said, while placing the cups on the table. "Emily has never been so excited." "She is a special girl," replied Anna, stirring the tea slowly. "She reminds me of my own daughter." Thomas was silent for a moment, absorbing the pain in Anna's words. "You know, Anna," he began, his voice soft, "seeing you with Emily gives me hope. Hope that maybe we can find a way to heal." Anna looked at Thomas, her eyes full of tears. "I feel that too, Thomas. Taking care of Emily is helping me find purpose again." The following days brought more evidence of the growing bond between Anna and Emily. On a sunny afternoon, while Thomas was at work, Anna decided to take Emily to the park. The girl was stronger, her laughter more frequent. "Come on, Emily, let's see the flowers," said Anna, holding the girl's hand. At the park, the two sat on the grass, surrounded by the sound of birds and the rustling of trees. Anna brought a small sketchbook and some colored pens. "How about we draw together?" suggested Anna. Emily nodded enthusiastically. They spent the afternoon drawing flowers, trees, and characters from the stories Anna told. Each stroke on the paper seemed to be a step towards Emily's recovery and Anna's emotional healing. When Thomas arrived home from work, he found the two still in the park, laughing and talking. He approached quietly, observing the scene with a smile on his face. "Looks like you had a fun day," he said, joining them. "It was amazing, Daddy," exclaimed Emily, showing the drawings. "Anna draws so well." Thomas looked at the drawings, admiring Anna's skill. "You have talent, Anna," he said sincerely. Anna blushed slightly, smiling shyly. "Thank you, Thomas. That means a lot to me." As the days passed, Thomas realized that Anna's presence was doing more than just taking care of Emily. She was bringing new life to the house, a sense of hope and renewal. The evenings were filled with laughter and stories, and Emily's health continued to improve, as if joy were the best medicine. One quiet night, Thomas decided to rewatch the baby monitor recordings. He saw Anna sitting by Emily, holding her hand and singing a soft lullaby. Anna's voice was melodious, filled with emotion. "Good night, little Emily," whispered Anna, before kissing the girl's forehead. Thomas felt a lump in his throat. He knew that Anna was bringing something he alone could not offer, a deep emotional healing for Emily. And gradually, he realized that this healing was extending to him as well. The summer days brought a gentle warmth, and with it, a remarkable transformation in Emily. Her energy was returning, and she now spent more time playing in the yard, laughing and exploring every corner with renewed curiosity. Anna, always by her side, encouraged each small achievement, celebrating with an enthusiasm that seemed to infect even the garden flowers. "Look, Daddy, I can run," exclaimed Emily, running across the yard with quick steps, while Thomas watched from the porch, his heart overflowing with joy and relief. Thomas observed this scene with a mix of surprise and gratitude. He had never imagined he would see Emily so alive again. Anna, with her calm and constant presence, seemed to be the invisible force behind this miraculous recovery. But the little miracles were not limited to Emily's health. There was something else happening, something subtle but profoundly significant. One Saturday morning, while they were preparing breakfast together, Thomas noticed a different sparkle in Emily's eyes. She spoke enthusiastically about the story Anna had told the night before. "And then, the prince found the magic flower and saved the entire kingdom," said Emily, her eyes shining. "I know I will get better too, Daddy. Anna said I have a magic flower inside me." Thomas looked at Anna, who was standing by the stove, stirring a pot of porridge. She smiled at him, a smile full of meaning and confidence. He knew there was something special about Anna, something beyond words. "You are right, my love. You are our brave little princess," replied Thomas, kissing his daughter's forehead. Later that day, Thomas decided it was time for a special outing. They went to the park where Emily always loved to go before she got sick. The park was full of life, with children running and playing, and the sound of laughter filling the air. Emily ran to the swings, and Thomas gently pushed her, the sound of her laughter echoing in the air. Anna sat on a nearby bench, watching with a serene smile. She held a book in her hands, but her eyes were fixed on the scene in front of her, absorbing every moment of happiness emanating from Emily and Thomas. "You have changed our lives, Anna," said Thomas, sitting next to her. "I will never be able to thank you enough for that." Anna turned to him, her green eyes shining with emotion. "You have also changed my life, Thomas, more than you can imagine." Anna's words were simple, but they carried deep weight. She had found a new purpose, a new family, and that was healing wounds she thought would never heal. That night, after putting Emily to sleep, Thomas sat on the sofa with Anna. They talked about everything and nothing, sharing stories of their past lives and dreams for the future. Each word was a brick in the bridge they were building between their hearts, a bridge of trust and understanding. "You know, Anna," Thomas began, his voice soft, "I was thinking about something." Anna looked at him, curious. "What is it?" "I was thinking about how wonderful it would be if you could stay with us, permanently, not just as a caregiver, but as part of our family." Anna was silent for a moment, absorbing the meaning of Thomas's words. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of joy. "Thomas, I would love that, more than anything." The days continued to pass, and with each dawn, the bond between Anna, Emily, and Thomas grew stronger. Small miracles happened every day, not just in Emily's health, but in all of their lives. Emily now ran freely through the garden. Anna found peace and purpose, and Thomas felt his heart open to a new kind of hope and love. One afternoon, while Anna and Emily were in the garden planting flowers, Emily looked at Anna with her big brown eyes. "Anna, will you stay with us forever?" Anna smiled, wiping the dirt from her hands. "Yes, Emily. If you want me, I will stay forever." Emily laughed, throwing her arms around Anna in a tight hug. "I want you here forever, Anna." Thomas, watching from the porch, felt a solitary tear run down his face. He knew that finally, after so much pain and struggle, they were beginning to find happiness again. And that, he thought, was the greatest miracle of all. It was a quiet night when Thomas decided to revisit Anna's past, wanting to understand more about the woman who had brought so much light into their lives. With Emily already asleep, he sat in the kitchen with Anna, the room illuminated only by the soft yellow light of the lamp. The silence was filled only by the sound of the clock on the wall, marking each passing second. "Anna," Thomas began cautiously, "I'd like to know more about you, about what brought you here. If you're ready to share, of course." Anna was silent for a moment, looking at the cup of tea in her hands. Her fingers traced the fine lines of the porcelain as if seeking courage. Finally, she looked up, meeting Thomas's eyes with an expression of acceptance. "I think it's time you knew," she said softly. "My past is not easy to tell, but you deserve to know the truth." Thomas nodded, encouraging her to continue. "I had a family, a beautiful family," Anna began, her voice laden with emotion. "My husband, David, and our daughter, Lily. They were my world. We were happy, you know? We lived in a small house, but it was full of love." Anna paused, taking a deep breath before continuing. "One night, we were coming back from a birthday party. The road was dark, and it was raining heavily. David was driving, and Lily was in the back seat, laughing at something I had said. And then, it happened. A truck came our way, out of control. There was no time to swerve." Thomas felt a knot form in his throat, already imagining the tragic outcome of that story. "When I woke up in the hospital, I was told that David and Lily hadn't survived. The pain was unbearable. I lost everything that night. Our home, our dreams, my family." Tears began to stream down Anna's face, but she made no effort to wipe them away. "I tried to move on, but nothing made sense without them. I wandered the streets without a purpose, until one day I found myself under that canopy where you found me." Thomas got up and walked to her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "I'm so sorry, Anna. I can't imagine the pain you must have felt." Anna held his hand, finding strength in that simple gesture. Thank you, dear. But there's more. After the accident, I received several threats. I was forced to leave my home and flee. That's how I ended up on the streets. I was trying to escape from these people. Thomas squeezed Anna's hand, trying to convey all his strength and support. Anna, you are not alone anymore. We will face this together. Anna smiled, though tears still streamed down her face. Thank you, Thomas. You have been my lifeline. But there is something I need to ask. Since I arrived here, I have felt that you were also hiding something. Something about Julia. Thomas looked down, his own emotions finally coming to the surface. He knew it was time to share his own pain. Julia, he began, his voice trembling. Julia was the light of my life. Losing her was like losing a part of myself. She got sick suddenly, a rare and aggressive disease. We did everything we could, but there was no cure. Anna held Thomas's hand, offering him the same comfort he had given her. Thomas, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine the pain you went through. Thank you, Anna. But there's more. In Julia's last days, she made me promise that I wouldn't be alone, that I would find someone to care for Emily and me. I never thought I could keep that promise, until you showed up. Anna's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were tears of gratitude and hope. Thomas, you are not alone anymore. We are not alone. That moment of sharing and mutual understanding further solidified the bond between them. The secrets that once separated them now served to unite them in an even deeper and more meaningful way. That night, after putting Emily to bed, Thomas and Anna sat on the porch, watching the stars. There was a sense of peace in the air, a tranquility they hadn't felt in a long time. Anna, I know the road ahead may be difficult, but I want you to know that I am here for you. And together, we will face anything that comes our way. Anna looked at Thomas, her eyes shining with determination. And I will be here for you, Thomas. Always. As the stars shone in the night sky, Thomas and Anna knew they had found something special. It was not just a new chance to love, but an opportunity to heal and grow together, facing life's challenges side by side. And above all, they knew that together, they could overcome any obstacle, turning past pain into an unbreakable strength for the future. Unexpected crisis. It was a silent early morning when Emily woke up with a violent cough, the sound echoing through the apartment. Thomas, who was sleeping deeply, immediately woke up when he heard his daughter's sounds. He rushed to her room, his heart pounding with worry. Daddy, I can't breathe properly, said Emily, her voice choked. Thomas felt panic rising within him, but tried to remain calm. He picked Emily up and carried her to the living room, where Anna was already up, alarmed by the noise. What happened? Anna asked, her eyes wide with concern. She's having trouble breathing. I need to call the doctor, Thomas replied, trying not to let the fear show in his voice. Anna nodded and began to prepare a glass of water for Emily. Thomas dialed the doctor's number with trembling hands, explaining the situation quickly. Meanwhile, Anna spoke softly to Emily, trying to calm her. Everything will be okay, dear. We are here with you, said Anna, holding the girl's hand. The doctor arrived quickly, examining Emily carefully. After what felt like an eternity, he turned to Thomas and Anna, his expression serious. Emily needs to be taken to the hospital immediately. Let's get her in the car, and I'll go with you to ensure everything goes well, said the doctor. Thomas felt a chill down his spine, but knew he had to act quickly. With Anna's help, they placed Emily in the car and headed to the hospital, the silence in the car only interrupted by the doctor's instructions and Anna's comforting whispers to Emily. Upon arrival at the hospital, a team was already waiting. Emily was quickly taken to the emergency room, leaving Thomas and Anna in the waiting room, anguished. She will be okay, Thomas. We have to believe that, said Anna, trying to comfort him. Thomas nodded, but the anxiety was palpable in his eyes. They waited for hours, each minute dragging painfully. Finally, a doctor appeared, his expression more relaxed. Emily is stable now. She had a severe reaction, but we managed to control it. She will need to stay under observation for a few days, but she will be okay. Thomas and Anna let out sighs of relief, tears streaming down their faces. Thank you, doctor. Can we see her? Thomas asked. Yes, but please keep the visit short. She needs to rest, the doctor replied. When they entered Emily's room, she was lying in bed, pale but with a weak smile at seeing their familiar faces. "Daddy, Anna," Emily whispered, extending her hand to them. Thomas held one hand and Anna held the other, both feeling a wave of relief and love. "We are here, dear. We will stay with you until you get better," said Thomas, his voice filled with emotion. The following days were a test of strength and patience for everyone. Emily remained in the hospital, and Thomas and Anna took turns by her side, ensuring she was never alone. Anna brought books and toys to keep Emily entertained, while Thomas talked to the doctors, ensuring they were doing everything possible. One night, while Thomas and Anna sat side by side on the small sofa in the hospital room, he looked at her, gratitude and love clear in his eyes. "Anna, I don't know how I would have gotten through this without you. You are our rock." Anna smiled, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "Thomas, we are a team, and together, we can face anything." Finally, the day came when Emily could go home. Although still weak, her spirit was unbroken, and she seemed more determined than ever to recover fully. "Let's have a welcome home party for you, Emily," Anna said, while arranging the girls' bed. "Can we have a picnic in the garden?" Emily asked, her eyes shining with anticipation. "Of course, dear. We will have the best picnic ever," Thomas replied, smiling. That afternoon, the garden was full of laughter and joy. Thomas, Anna, and Emily sat on a blanket, surrounded by flowers and with a picnic basket full of treats. Enjoying the video? Subscribe to our channel to receive more interesting content. Click the subscribe button and stay updated with the latest news. It was a moment of celebration, of gratitude for Emily's recovery and for the strength they found in each other. "I love you," said Emily, looking at Thomas and Anna with a radiant smile. "We love you too, Emily," Thomas replied, his voice choked with emotion. Anna held both their hands, feeling the warmth of the connection they had formed. "We are a family, and nothing can separate us," she said, and at that moment, they all knew it was true. The unexpected crisis had tested their limits, but it had also strengthened their bonds, showing them the true meaning of love and resilience. And as they sat there, under the warm autumn sun, they knew that together, they could overcome any challenge the future brought. The sun was starting to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, when Thomas, Anna, and Emily gathered in the living room. Emily's health crisis had been a tremendous test, but now, with the girl slowly regaining her energy, the atmosphere in the house was lighter. However, Thomas knew there was an overdue conversation, one he had postponed for too long. He looked at Anna, who was helping Emily color a picture book, and felt a wave of gratitude mixed with the need to clarify everything. "Anna, can we talk for a moment?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Anna looked up, noticing the seriousness in Thomas's tone. She nodded, giving a gentle kiss on Emily's forehead before standing up. "Sure, Thomas. Let's go to the kitchen," she said, with a slight smile. Thomas followed Anna to the kitchen, where the aroma of freshly brewed tea filled the air. He closed the door behind them, ensuring Emily couldn't hear. He sat at the table, feeling the tension rise. "Anna, I know we've been through a lot together, and you have become an essential part of our lives. But I think we need to talk about what comes next. About us, about the future," he began, his eyes fixed on hers. Anna took a deep breath, sitting across from him. "I understand, Thomas. What exactly do you want to discuss?" Thomas hesitated for a moment, searching for the right words. "Anna, I know you still carry the pain of losing your family, and I also carry the pain of losing Julia. But during these months, you have become a crucial part of our lives. I feel like I'm starting to heal, and I believe you are too. I think we can face the future together, but we need to be on the same emotional page." Anna looked at him, her green eyes reflecting a sea of emotions. "Thomas, I feel the same. You and Emily have brought light into my life in a way I never thought possible again. But at the same time, there's a part of me that still feels fear. Fear of losing everything again. Fear of getting too attached." Thomas held her hand, his eyes full of determination. "Anna, life is full of uncertainties. But what I do know is that I want to face these uncertainties with you. I want us to be a family, for real. But for that, we need to forgive our past and allow ourselves to live the present fully." Anna nodded, feeling tears streaming down her face. "You're right, Thomas. We need to leave the past behind. I forgive David for everything that happened, and I want to allow myself to be happy again with you and Emily." Thomas smiled, relieved. He knew this conversation was necessary for them to move forward. He approached Anna and enveloped her in a tight hug, feeling the warmth and security that only true love could provide. That night, after putting Emily to bed, Thomas and Anna decided to take a walk in the garden. The night air was fresh, and the full moon illuminated the path. They walked hand in hand, feeling a new hope blossom between them. "Remember that tree we planted for David and Lily?" Anna asked, looking at the spot where the young tree was starting to grow. "Of course I remember. It's a symbol of everything we have overcome and what we will build together," Thomas replied, squeezing Anna's hand gently. They stopped in front of the tree, admiring its leaves that shimmered under the moonlight. "You know, Thomas, I think this tree represents more than just memories. It represents a new beginning for all of us. Each leaf, each new branch is a sign that we are growing and healing together," Anna said, her eyes fixed on the tree. Thomas smiled, feeling more hopeful than ever. "Yes, Anna, and I promise to do my best to take care of you and Emily, just like this tree." Time passed, and the lives of Thomas, Anna, and Emily entered a more stable and happy rhythm. Emily continued to recover, her energy gradually returning. She attended school with enthusiasm, making new friends and excelling in classes. Thomas and Anna, in turn, found a balance in their routines, sharing responsibilities and enjoying joyful family moments. One day, while Thomas was at work, Anna decided to visit the place where David and Lily were buried. She felt it was time to truly say goodbye and let the past rest. Emily insisted on going along, wanting to support Anna in that moment. They arrived at the cemetery on a sunny morning, the weather contrasting with the melancholy of the place. Anna held Emily's hand as they walked to the graves. They knelt before the headstones, and Anna began to speak, her voice soft but firm. "David, Lily, I miss you so much, but I need to move on. I met wonderful people who helped me find a new purpose and a new family. I want you to know that you will always be in my heart, but it's time to let the pain go and live fully." Emily squeezed Anna's hand, offering comfort. "Anna, I think they would be happy to know you found a new family, and we are very lucky to have you." Anna smiled, feeling lighter. "Thank you, Emily. You are a very special girl." Upon returning home, Thomas was waiting for them, eager to know how the visit had gone. Anna shared her feelings, and he hugged her, knowing it was another important step in their healing journey. "I'm so proud of you, Anna. It was a brave act to let the past rest like that," said Thomas, his voice full of emotion. "And I feel freer now, Thomas, ready to truly live and enjoy every moment with you," replied Anna, her eyes shining with determination. The days continued to pass, each bringing new challenges and new joys. The relationship between Thomas and Anna strengthened, based on a love that grew daily, while Emily flourished under their attentive care. One spring afternoon, Thomas decided to surprise Anna. He took her to the garden, where he had prepared a small picnic. The scene was perfect, a blanket spread on the grass, surrounded by colorful flowers and a clear blue sky. "Thomas, what is this?" Anna asked, laughing in surprise. "I thought we deserved to celebrate. Celebrate love, life, and everything we have overcome together," Thomas replied, holding her hands. They sat and shared a simple but meaningful meal. Emily ran around, laughing and playing, the perfect image of childhood happiness. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with vibrant colors, Thomas looked at Anna, his eyes full of love. "Anna, you have changed our lives in a way I never imagined possible. I want you to know that, regardless of what the future holds, we will always be together. We are a family, now and forever." Anna smiled, feeling her heart overflow with joy and love. "And I will always be here, with you and Emily. We will face everything together, with strength and forgiveness." As the sun disappeared on the horizon, Thomas, Anna, and Emily knew they had finally found the peace and happiness they had long sought. Together, they were ready for any challenge, any joy, any sorrow, knowing that the love they shared was the unbreakable foundation of their lives. Spring continued to bloom, bringing with it a renewal of hope and vitality. The house of Thomas, Anna, and Emily was now filled with laughter and moments of joy. The garden, which had been a place of pain and memories, was now full of vibrant colors and the cheerful sound of birds. Each day was a celebration of life, and the transformation of all was visible. Emily, always full of energy, ran around the garden with her new friends, her laughter echoing through the air. She was stronger, healthier, and her joyful spirit was a constant reminder of how much they had overcome. Thomas watched from the porch, a serene smile on his face. He had never seen his daughter so happy. "Emily is really flourishing, isn't she?" Anna said, approaching Thomas with a tray of lemonade. "Yes, she is," Thomas replied, accepting a glass of lemonade. "And much of that is thanks to you, Anna. You brought light into our lives." Anna smiled, feeling truly at home. "And you brought purpose to my life. I never thought I could be happy again, but here I am." Thomas turned to her, holding her hand. "We did this together, Anna. Each of us contributed to this transformation." Anna nodded, feeling a wave of gratitude. The love and acceptance she had found with Thomas and Emily were more than she had ever hoped to find again. She felt she had finally found her place in the world. That night, they decided to have a special dinner to celebrate the new phase of their lives. The kitchen was filled with delicious aromas as Anna and Thomas prepared the meal together, laughing and talking about the little moments that had become so precious. "Remember that time we tried to make cookies and ended up with a huge mess?" Anna asked, laughing. "How could I forget?" Emily was covered in flour and chocolate. "It was quite a scene," Thomas replied, laughing as well. Emily entered the kitchen, drawn by the sound of laughter. "Are you talking about me?" she asked, pretending to be offended. "Just sharing some fun stories, dear," Anna said, smiling. "Why don't you help set the table?" Emily nodded, happy to be part of the preparation. The table was set with care, each detail carefully arranged to create a cozy atmosphere. When the food was finally served, they sat together, feeling the simple joy of being a family. During dinner, Thomas raised his glass for a toast. "I want to make a toast to our family, to the transformation we have experienced and the hope we have for the future. Thank you, Anna, for being the light that guided our way, and Emily, for being the strength that inspires us every day." "To our family," Emily repeated, raising her glass with a radiant smile. "To our family," Anna said, tears of happiness in her eyes. After dinner, they sat in the living room, sharing stories and laughing at the memories they had created together. The night was cold, but the warmth of the love they shared was enough to warm the room. Anna looked around, feeling a deep peace. She knew the journey to this point had not been easy, but each challenge faced had strengthened the bond between them. She remembered the lonely nights on the streets, the despair and pain, and felt a wave of gratitude for finding Thomas and Emily. "Thomas, Emily, I want to say something," she began, her voice filled with emotion. Thomas and Emily looked at her, attentive. "I don't know what would have happened to me if I hadn't found you. You gave me a new life, a new family, and I want you to know that I will always be here for you, no matter what." Thomas smiled, holding her hand. "And we will always be here for you, Anna. We are a family, and that will never change." Emily snuggled next to Anna, feeling safe and loved. "I love you," Emily said, her voice soft. "We love you too, Emily," Thomas and Anna replied in unison. The following days were filled with simple but significant moments. They had picnics in the garden, park outings, and movie nights at home. Each activity was a celebration of life and the love they shared. Thomas, who once carried the weight of the world on his shoulders, now smiled more often, feeling truly happy. One afternoon, while Thomas was at work, Anna decided to organize a surprise for him. She and Emily spent the day decorating the house with photos and memories of the happy moments they had lived together. When Thomas came home, he was greeted by an explosion of colors and laughter. "What is all this?" he asked, surprised. "It's our way of saying thank you for everything, Daddy," said Emily, running to hug him. And to show how grateful we are to have you in our lives, added Anna, approaching with a smile. Thomas looked around, feeling deeply touched. Each photo, each detail was a testament to the love and happiness they had built together. You are amazing. I don't deserve all this, he said, his voice choked with emotion. Yes, you do, Thomas. Every moment of happiness we have is thanks to you, Anna said, holding his hand. They spent the night looking at the photos, reminiscing about special moments and making new plans for the future. There was a sense of fulfillment, of finally being where they were meant to be. The transformation they had experienced was not just external but internal. They had learned to forgive, to love, and to live fully. As the night progressed, they sat in the garden, watching the stars. Emily was asleep in Anna's lap, and Thomas looked at the two women in his life with deep love. Anna, I never thought I could be happy again after losing Julia, but you showed that life can still be beautiful. Thank you for everything, said Thomas, his voice full of gratitude. And I never thought I could find a new family after losing David and Lily. But you and Emily gave me that chance. I am also very grateful, Thomas, Anna replied, holding his hand. The garden was silent, except for the soft sound of the leaves in the wind. They knew that, regardless of what the future held, they would be ready to face it together. The transformation and hope they had found were unbreakable, and the love they shared was the foundation of everything. That night, as the moon softly illuminated the garden, Thomas, Anna, and Emily knew they were ready for whatever came. Together, they had found the strength to forgive, the courage to love, and the hope to live fully. And so, under the starry sky, their journey of transformation and hope continued, guided by the unconditional love they shared. Summer was ending, and Thomas, Anna, and Emily's home was more vibrant than ever. The garden, now full of colorful flowers, reflected the new life they had all found. It was a peaceful morning, and Thomas was in the kitchen preparing breakfast. The aroma of fresh pancakes filled the air while Anna and Emily chatted animatedly in the living room. Daddy is making pancakes, Emily exclaimed, jumping with excitement. I can smell it from here, Anna said, laughing. Let's see if he needs help. They joined Thomas in the kitchen, and the sight of his family gathered there made his heart overflow with happiness. He smiled at the two, feeling deep gratitude for every moment they shared. Good morning, girls. Ready for a special breakfast? He asked, flipping the last pancake. More than ready, Emily replied, already sitting at the table. Me too, Anna added, placing the plates on the table. As they enjoyed breakfast, they talked about their plans for the day. Emily was excited to start her art classes at school, a new hobby she had discovered and was passionate about. Thomas and Anna discussed how to organize a small party to celebrate Anna's upcoming birthday. I want to have a party in the garden, with lots of flowers and lights, Emily suggested, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. I think it's a great idea, Emily. We can decorate the garden together, Thomas said, smiling, and we can invite our friends too. It will be a celebration of life and everything we have achieved, Anna said, feeling emotional about the idea. The days that followed were full of preparations for the party. Emily helped decorate the garden, carefully choosing the flowers and lights they would use. Thomas took care of the logistical details while Anna prepared some special dishes that everyone loved. The house was full of laughter and anticipation, and each detail seemed to reflect the love and dedication of everyone. On the night of the party, the garden was stunning. Soft lights hung from the trees, creating a magical atmosphere. The tables were full of delicious food, and a pleasant breeze blew, bringing the aroma of freshly picked flowers. The guests began to arrive, friends and neighbors who had become an essential part of their lives. Emily ran around the garden, showing everyone her drawings and telling animated stories about her recent adventures. Thomas and Anna, holding hands, welcomed the guests, thanking everyone for being there to celebrate with them. This is the most beautiful party I've ever seen, said one of Anna's friends, admiring the decorations. Thank you. It was a team effort. Everyone contributed to making it special, Anna replied, with a smile. Thomas watched everything with a smile on his face, feeling happier than ever. He remembered the difficult moments, the struggles and losses, but also how they had overcome everything together. Life, he thought, was a cycle of challenges and achievements, and he was grateful to have Anna and Emily by his side. "I would like to make a toast," Thomas announced, raising his glass. All the guests gathered around him, waiting for what he would say. "I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. This party is not just to celebrate Anna's birthday, but to celebrate life, love, and the family we have found together. Anna, you brought light into our lives in a way that I can't describe. And Emily, you are our daily inspiration. To our family and friends, thank you for being part of this journey." "To our family," everyone repeated in unison, raising their glasses. Anna felt her eyes fill with tears of joy. She hugged Thomas and Emily, feeling truly complete. "I love you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "And we love you, Anna," Thomas and Emily replied, holding her tightly. The party continued, with music, dancing, and lots of fun. Each moment was captured in photos and memories they would cherish forever. Anna felt surrounded by love and acceptance, something she never thought she would find again after losing her family. Later that night, as the last guests began to leave, Thomas, Anna, and Emily sat in the garden, admiring the stars. The feeling of peace and contentment was palpable. "It was a wonderful night, wasn't it?" Thomas asked, looking at the two. "It was perfect," Anna replied, leaning in to kiss him gently. "I had so much fun," Emily said, yawning. "Let's go inside." "It's getting late," Thomas suggested, picking Emily up. Inside the house, they helped Emily get ready for bed. Thomas and Anna tucked her in, kissing her forehead. "Good night, dear. We love you," they said before turning off the light. "Good night, Daddy." "Good night, Anna." "I love you too," Emily replied, falling asleep quickly. Thomas and Anna went to the living room, sitting on the sofa. The house was quiet, but the silence was comfortable, full of promises for the future. "You know, Thomas, I never imagined life could be so beautiful again. You gave me a gift I can never fully repay," Anna said, holding his hand. "Anna, you have already given us more than you can imagine. Your love, your strength, your presence. All of that has transformed our lives. We are exactly where we should be together," Thomas replied, kissing her. They stayed there, in silence, enjoying each other's company. The journey they had started together was far from over, but every step they took was a new opportunity to grow and love each other even more. Time continued to pass, and with it, new challenges and new joys arose. Thomas and Anna decided to formalize their union, celebrating the love they had built together. It was a simple but meaningful ceremony, with Emily as the main bridesmaid. "I never thought I would find love like this again," Anna said, emotionally, during the vows. "And I never thought I could be so happy after losing Julia. But here we are, ready to face the world together," Thomas replied, with tears in his eyes. After the ceremony, they spent their honeymoon in a quiet place, enjoying the chance to be together and reconnect. Emily stayed with trusted friends, eager to hear all the stories when they returned. Upon returning, life continued to flourish. Anna found a job she loved, working with children at a community center. Thomas, always by her side, supported her every step. Emily continued to grow, shining more and more with the love and support of her new family. And so, under the starry sky and the bright sun of each new day, Thomas, Anna, and Emily knew they were ready for anything. Together, they had found the strength to overcome the past, the love to live in the present, and the hope to build a bright future. And that, they thought, was the greatest achievement of all. Life in Thomas, Anna, and Emily's home was full of peace and joy. The challenges of the past had been overcome, and each new day brought moments of happiness and growth. The garden, where so many memories had been created, was now more vibrant than ever, reflecting the harmony and love that reigned in the family. It was an autumn morning, and the sun was shining softly through the kitchen windows. Thomas was preparing breakfast, while Anna and Emily decorated the living room for a small gathering with friends and family. Emily's laughter filled the air, and the aroma of fresh bread and coffee made the atmosphere even cozier. "Daddy, you're going to love the decorations," Emily exclaimed, running to the kitchen. Anna had an amazing idea. "I'm sure it's wonderful, dear," Thomas replied, smiling as he flipped the pancakes. Anna entered the kitchen with a radiant smile on her face. "We're almost finished. I think everyone will love it," she said, approaching Thomas for a quick kiss. As they finished the preparations, the first guests began to arrive. The garden soon filled with friends, laughter, and lively conversations. Emily ran back and forth, showing her drawings and telling animated stories about her school. Thomas and Anna moved through the garden, chatting with guests and ensuring everyone was having a good time. In a moment of pause, Thomas and Anna sat on a bench under the tree they had planted in honor of David and Lily. The leaves swayed gently in the wind, creating a soothing melody. "This place is really special for us, isn't it?" Thomas asked, looking at Anna. "Yes, it is. It's a symbol of everything we have overcome and everything we have built together," Anna replied, holding his hand. As they talked, Emily approached, holding a small envelope. "Daddy, Anna, I made something for you," she said, handing the envelope with a shy smile. Thomas and Anna opened the envelope together, revealing a drawing of their family holding hands, with hearts all around. "Emily, it's beautiful," Anna exclaimed, moved. "Thank you so much, dear." "Yes, dear. You have an amazing talent," Thomas said, hugging his daughter. "I just wanted to show how much I love you and how happy I am that we found each other," Emily said, smiling. The three stayed there for a moment, embraced and silent, appreciating the depth of the love and connection they shared. The party continued, but that moment was etched in their hearts as a symbol of the unity and love that bound them. That night, after the guests had left and Emily was comfortably asleep in her bed, Thomas and Anna sat on the porch, admiring the stars. The night air was fresh, and the moon shone brightly in the sky. "Thomas, I've been thinking a lot about the future," Anna said, breaking the silence. "What do you have in mind?" Thomas asked, curious. "I've been thinking about how we can help others who have gone through similar difficulties. Maybe we could start a community project, something that offers support and resources to those in need," Anna suggested, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. Thomas smiled, feeling inspired by the idea. "That's wonderful, Anna. I think it would be an incredible way to give back and use our experience to make a difference in other people's lives." Anna nodded, feeling a wave of emotion. "And with Emily growing up so fast, I think she would also benefit from seeing how important it is to help others." Thomas agreed, feeling more determined than ever. "Let's do it. Let's start planning and see how we can turn this idea into reality." In the months that followed, Thomas and Anna dedicated themselves to the new project with enthusiasm. They worked together to establish a community organization that offered emotional support, educational resources, and job opportunities for people in difficult situations. The project, called New Dawn, quickly gained momentum, with the help of friends and neighbors who volunteered to contribute. Emily also got involved, helping to organize events and activities for the community's children. She was happy to be part of something so significant and to see her parents so dedicated to helping others. At a special event for the inauguration of New Dawn, Thomas took the stage to speak to the gathered community. "This project is a dream come true. We couldn't have done it without the support of all of you. My family and I have been through difficult times, but we found strength in each other and in the kindness of those around us. We want New Dawn to be a beacon of hope for everyone who needs it," Thomas said, moved. Anna joined him on the stage, holding his hand. "We are here to support, to listen, and to help in every possible way. This is just the beginning, and we hope that together we can build a better future for everyone," Anna added, her eyes shining with determination. The community applauded, and Thomas and Anna felt a wave of pride and satisfaction. They knew they were doing something truly meaningful, something that would positively impact many lives. Over time, New Dawn grew, expanding its activities and reaching more people. Thomas, Anna, and Emily became respected and loved figures in the community, known for their generosity and dedication. But beyond the community impact, the project also strengthened their family bonds even more. They learned to value each moment, to face challenges with courage, and to celebrate achievements with joy. One night, as they prepared for bed, Thomas looked at Anna with a smile. "I never imagined life could be so full of purpose and happiness after everything we've been through," he said, holding her hand. And all this was possible because we found each other and decided to face the future together, Anna replied, her eyes shining. Thomas kissed her gently, feeling more grateful than ever to have her by his side. We are ready for anything, Anna. Together, we can face any challenge and enjoy every joy. Anna smiled, feeling truly complete. Yes, Thomas, we are ready for whatever comes. And I know that with you and Emily by my side, the future will always be bright. As they fell asleep, wrapped in the comfort of the love and security they had found together, they knew they were exactly where they should be. United by unbreakable love and committed to a future full of hope, Thomas, Anna, and Emily were ready to face whatever life brought them. Always together, always strong. We hope you were moved and inspired by our story. We want to hear your opinion. Leave a comment below, share your impressions, and your own stories of resilience and hope. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next emotional videos. Join us on this journey and follow more incredible stories. See you next time.